Hello and welcome. This is PJ.
I'm Dan.
And this is Nami Nation by Kai's Korner Productions. So Dan, how are you doing?
Well, you just heard I popped my shoulder really loud because I'm falling apart. But hey, you know the usual stuff.
All right, what are we talking about today, Dan?
Hey, we're going to talk about some of my favorite stuff, which is VR. If you guys aren't a fan of VR or aren't really too knowledgeable about it, I figure this is going to be an easy way to ease you into some of this stuff.
No.
No?
Yeah, well.
Oh, God. Okay. You're such a jerk.
Yeah, you're the one that got me into VR.
I did get you into VR. So I started doing VR back in 2017.
Yeah.
VR is becoming increasingly more popular within the last 3 years. Of course, we've had the Meta Quest, and
really helped with the popularity.
Really,
population, the popularity.
Popularity of it. Now you've got we had the Quest 2, and now we're just 6 months into the lifespan of the Quest 3.
Well, the Quest 2 is really good too because before that it was either the Oculus Go or the Quest. You remember?
I do
the
remember
Go
that,
was the one controller version of it.
Oh man, that was just so weird.
It was bad.
How do you work with just one controller?
Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all.
But there are also a bunch of other things. Windows had their own thing in WMR, which not high in the popularity anymore. In fact, they completely discontinued just a few years ago all of WMRs, but you can still find the devices online. You can still find them by VR.
I read somewhere they stopped supporting it too.
Did they stop supporting it?
Yeah.
That's weird because I use Windows 11 and it still has the WMR
Well, it's
software.
there, but they're not making new software, no new updates, things like that.
And that's a shame because their setup was really, really neat. The only big downfall to it was you had to be tethered.
Yeah.
You had to be tethered to your PC. Now, the Quest completely took that and went, you know what? Why do you need a cord? Use a cord to charge. And they've come in just the last few years since I've had my Quest 2. They've come leaps and bounds with the wireless stuff, which is great, especially if you are a big PC gamer and you run Steam. They've got an app for Steam Link, and if you keep your computer tethered to an Ethernet port or have very, very high-speed internet, you're not going to see a downgrade at all when it comes to your connection.
Which is impressive.
It's very impressive. And of course, the Quest has their own standalone software built right in, so you can download a game from their store and all that stuff and play it right from the headset. You don't need to be connected to anything, which is really, really good in its own right. My only issue with that is the Quest 3 has a better spec range than the Quest 2 and, of course, the original Quest. But nothing beats a PC.
Yeah, nothing will ever have the power.
I'm not going to say never. I'm not going to say never because, look at laptops. Laptops are insanely powerful nowadays. That's how I game. I game completely on my laptop.
Even so, 3080 on a laptop versus a 3080 on PC, or 5090s now, which are the new cards. The mobile version is always a lesser version.
Well, it's always going to be a lesser version because you don't have as much heatsink, you don't have as much space to. The cat's going to knock over my thing. So yeah, it's going to be a little weaker. I'm still running off of a 2060. You know what?
And that's 2 more fans than you have.
But it's still a pretty good setup, and especially if you're looking for cost effectiveness.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty and stuff. Games. There are a plethora of games that are coming out. We're now seeing games from AAA studios. Well, not studios, but AAA quality games are coming out.
Yeah, not AAA studios, but really high quality games.
No, even studios, because Rebellion did release a VR version of Sniper Elite. And I love that game. They actually released 2 versions. The second one is actually... I don't remember exactly where it is. It's in the winter. And I saw that and I was like, oh!
Where's the winter located?
I don't know. I don't know exactly. I just saw it and I was like, I need to buy this if I had money.
If I were to travel to the winter, where would I go?
I am going to go to the winter. Oh, I think it's...
Is that where my dad went to get the milk?
I'm not even going to touch that. That's horrible. Mom said Dad went to go get milk. It was a middle winter and he never came back.
This is our first episode. Everyone.
Hi, everybody.
All right, Dan. Let's talk about our first ever VR experience because we were both introduced to it by the same person, and it was the same game.
I was introduced to it after you, but my first experience was with the Rick and Morty VR game.
Yep.
So my biggest problem with that game is you had to have space. You had to actually walk around and bend down and do all of that stuff, which a lot of modern VR games you don't have that problem with, because some of these companies know, you're not going to have a whole lot of space if you're in an apartment, tiny apartment, and some of them know that some people just want to sit down.
Yeah.
But those first games coming out, in that era, so 15, 16, they didn't take into account.
And man, that game, like, it really was able to recreate this is how, whenever I explain VR and this game specifically to anyone, I always use this story. There's always a scene in, even like Rick and Morty, I think, I'm sure has it, where things start going crazy. Like everything, it has hit the fan. And there's always characters just hitting all the buttons, trying to make the thing to stop and, to save the day or whatever. And there's a mini game in that where you have to do that to charge a battery. And it's like, flip the switch, now turn these down, and then do this and that, and spin this wheel over here. And it gets faster and faster, and you're like, yeah!
It's crazy.
It's so much fun.
It's absolutely crazy. Now, when I did pick up my own headset, the very first game that I bought was a still well-played game to this day called Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, or for the people who know, it's called H3 VR. It started out as just a shooting range, and then it turned into a shooting range where you shot at robot hot dogs, and now it's turned into a game where you fight anthropomorphized hot dogs that bleed mustard
and hunt you down.
And they do hunt you down.
Yeah.
The AI has gotten a lot smarter since when I first played. Of course, not full mod support, but an extensive support of mods. You can get things from thunderstore.io, where you can find a lot of mods for a lot of different games. And it's absolutely ridiculous. I still play it. I bought this back in 2017. The game was released in 2016.
He never shuts up about it.
I love that game.
The
other game that I continually play, which was finally released in 2019 and just reached its 1.0 final release as of summer of last year, is Blade and Sorcery, which is another great game that puts you completely in the shoes of whoever kind of gladiator you want to be. Of course, again, extensive support for mods, and this one is fully supported by the game itself. They actually have their own little store at the start menu to go and download mods. It actually helps you lose weight. You got to be very active.
yeah, you can't do half turns with your elbow and things like that. You can't
do this. You actually have to swing and put a little bit of oomph into your cuts.
Well, Beat Saber does that. I know you're not a big fan of rhythm games.
I'm not a big fan of rhythm games, but one of my favorite games of all time is technically a rhythm game. Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. When you beat the people up, it is a rhythm game, and that's how it was originally put out there. It was originally put out there as a rhythm game. But we're not talking about that. Although I really want to play the Arkham Shadow game. That's VR.
It's really good.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I don't know. I've only played 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, you tried to pull out an SD card from your arm.
I tried to pull an SD card out of my gauntlet because my son couldn't do it. And he's like, where is it? And I'm like, give me that. It's a freaking gauntlet. How much space is there here to get an SD card? I'll find it.
And then you look and you go, geez, Bruce, what did you do here, man?
Well, I'm just like, there is no spot for an SD card. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but the graphics are incredible. I dropped a smoke grenade and then I accidentally shot some explosive gel onto the thing, blew that up. And then I went into detective mode and everything went all blue. And I'm like, no, how do I get out of this now?
Where's my car, Bruce?
How do you turn this dang thing off?
So
I can just hear my son in the background, like, no, you have to just, no, stop it.
So another one of my favorite franchises has just released a VR game, just within the last month as of this recording, and that of course was the Alien franchise. They released the Aliens. Well, what is the name of it? Not Dark
Aliens VR.
Descent. Yeah, that's not it.
Aliens Virtual Reality.
Yeah, that's
the
not
game.
Oh, dear goodness.
In VR.
I really want to slap him.
If only there was a tool where we could look up information.
Alien Rogue Incursion.
Wow,
That's
where'd you come up with that name?
Oh my god, I'm gonna punch you. Alien Rogue Incursion, which just dropped back in December of 2024. When I first saw this, I was a little... Okay, when I originally saw it, I was super excited. Then when I saw gameplay, I was like, huh.
Would you say you were afraid?
I was afraid.
You
I
were
was afraid.
petrified?
Wondering how I was going to live without you by my side. Is that what you're getting at? Oh! Maybe later after this. But no, I was a little put off just by how things look. The thing you got to remember is when you watch these in 2D, it is completely different.
Yeah, because you're just watching from one eyepiece.
That's right. You're only watching from one perspective.
Yeah.
When you're in 3D, when you're in VR, you get the different angles. You get two lenses.
Yeah.
To look at. So,
and the scale of things is so
ridiculous.
So much better. Like watching a video of something and then seeing it in VR they're just two completely different entities.
Oh yeah. So what changed my mind was they did do an update.
Okay.
Just released a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They've updated some of the AI. They've updated some of the bugs that were getting worked out and everything. And I was watching a guy.
Would you say they went on a bug hunt?
Yeah, they went on a big bug hunt.
Yeah.
But I was watching a YouTuber play it, and I went, all right, let's take a look at this. And hearing the delight of his screams, I just went, oh man, yes. Oh, I have to play this. I think I sent you a video too. I don't know if you watched it. Of the guy, he had his revolver and he fired. Well, first he had his pulse rifle, fired off all 99 rounds of his pulse rifle. As an alien is coming after him, pulls out his revolver, fires all 6 shots, and the entire time you hear him screaming like a little girl. And I just thought, like, I have to play this. It's one of my favorite franchises of all times. I have to play this.
That's awesome.
But there are a lot of really, really fun things that are coming out that I can't wait to jump more into. Unfortunately, it requires this thing called money, which I don't have.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
The thing that really bothered me that Microsoft never did was they didn't get behind everything as they should have with their big flagship franchise, like Halo. In the early days, yeah, they had like the shooting gallery.
Mm-hmm.
But they really didn't.
It's like a Halo 4 promotional.
Was that
thing.
What that was?
I think so. Yeah, maybe Halo 5, but it felt like a promotional material more than anything.
Don't get me wrong; it was fun, but
it was really cool.
I felt like there could have been more.
It was definitely just a tech demo.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Halo, though, on myabandonware.com, you can download the original Halo game, not part of the Master Chief Collection, but the one from 2003 that was ported to Windows. And the reason why I bring this up is because if you download this game, you can...
I think you can still buy it on Steam, can't you?
No, not the original Halo.
Oh, darn.
No. You can get a VR mod for it. You can play the whole game from beginning to end in VR. I desperately need to do this.
Is co-op involved?
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
I really hope
so. That's a really good question.
That's something that I would totally get behind.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we have? So we do have some news to talk about.
We do have some news to talk about. I have to pull it up, though, because the news went away. So first off, at the end of last year, Apple was considering stopping production on their headset, the $3,500 one, because they did not sell.
Well,
Like,
at a price tag of $3,500, I mean, you're not breaking into the consumer market.
No.
You are now looking at things like business.
yeah. But like, knowing Apple and how their product is usually 3 years behind Samsung, right? How good are these VR headsets really gonna be?
See, that I don't know, because
You know?
sometimes they're innovative and sometimes they are lacking. I mean, horrendously.
Yeah. So
But that's tech.
I'm curious. I watched a video of a guy who had one that he used it like straight for a week or something like that.
Ooh.
And he's like, no, it's no better than just a regular headset.
That's a shame. That's
Yeah.
a shame. You know, a lot of I mean, VR is more the thing now, but you know, back in the day, it was all about AR, augmented reality, which the Quest 3 does very, very well. I
Yeah.
hear. But I don't know if augmented reality is the way that it's going to continue. I think it might be like something that's on the back burner.
Which is a shame because like Microsoft HoloLens, it never actually did.
It never
did what they said it was going to do. But if it would have been a game changer. Like,
oh, absolutely.
For those who haven't seen the videos of HoloLens, the initial like announcement trailer for it, they had footage of someone putting it on and looking at a coffee table, and then like a Minecraft world just springs up out of the coffee table. And the AR, like the glasses knew to lock it onto the coffee table, so if you like looked away, it still stayed on the table, or you could like walk around the table and get different views. You could grab it and like pull it up out of the table and see like all the layers underneath it.
In theory,
incredible.
In theory, it's incredible, but again, that was just marketing, and I don't even know if that was a full tech demo. But
they did release like HoloLenses to people, like you can buy them, but the field of view is extremely narrow. Like you're looking through this tiny little strip. If you look up or down, like you lose it.
Just like tiny strip. It kind of reminds me of, going back to it, Halo and stuff. You know, the little eyepiece for your Marines and stuff. I always thought that was such a cool idea, but it's also extremely impractical.
Yeah. Easy way for a heads-up display, right?
Just put it right over there. Bam! But like, oh my gosh, it would mess with your head so badly.
Yeah. I wonder if you would get used to that.
I don't know. I mean, binocular vision is what we have, and then you've got this like in front of you, so you're just like you're literally putting one hand in front of your eye, and you're like, haha, I can still kind of see you.
I mean, it's like a monocle, but it doesn't correct your vision. It just like puts some words and numbers and overlays in front of your vision.
I want to see somebody with that on in a top hat.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
the Australian Marine from Halo with the top hat and monocle.
It wasn't a top hat.
No, we give him a top hat.
Oh God. So what else do we have in the news? We're talking about Crysis. Hey, does everybody remember Crysis?
Love that game.
Such a great game.
But can it run Crysis? Was the big thing. Almost 20 years ago.
I know. Crysis VR. Oh, now offers a full virtual reality experience.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
I'm very, very curious.
So this is from mixednews.com if you want to read the full article here. VR developer Holger Cannibalistic Friday has released version 1.0 of his unofficial VR mod for Crysis VR.
It's unofficial. Okay.
Kabbalistic was the lead developer on the Half-Life 2 VR mod. Ooh, that would be awesome too. And a Far Cry VR.
You've sold Far Cry.
Yes. So, visible arms, physical melee attacks, left-handed support. That's kind of awesome.
There you go.
Oh, the haptics vest has support for that too. I heard bad things about those though.
I want one. I don't care.
I heard a lot of people say like it doesn't work the way they say it works.
Hey, as long as you get feedback, that's all that matters. Remember when they did that gun thing that they made for Half-Life 2 back in the day?
No.
You don't remember that? It was a feedback that had a pistol and it was for your mouse, and you'd fire, and it would give you force feedback.
I do remember that.
And it depended on what gun you had in the game, it would get stronger or lighter. If you're using a pistol, it was lighter than using like a heavier gun.
Wow,
oh man, back in the day.
All about that.
And then of course I was just looking. I was watching a video months ago, and they found one and tore it apart. And like, yeah, it's all rubber bands and stuff. Like, wow,
that wouldn't age well, would it?
No.
These haptic vests, from what I've read, unless like there's some better ones out there now, because what it does, it interprets sound, like using surround sound coding.
Okay.
To determine like where you get hit, and it will vibrate based on that. So like if you get hit from, front right, then it'll like vibrate in that area. And it's all about like the audio directional cues of how that works. But for everyone I have read that has actually like reviewed the thing, they're like, no, it just vibrates. Like you get hit, it vibrates. There's no like directionality to it.
I still want one.
I mean, it still would be cool.
Yeah.
If I was to invest like big money into...
Oh, if I was to invest big money into it, I would get the haptic vest, and I'd get the treadmill.
Yeah, the Omnitread.
Yeah,
I would get the Omnitread, and I would get the index, the Valve Index.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because that thing just looks awesome.
It's beefy.
So yeah, Kabbalistic has been working on Crysis VR for some time, and you can get it on the official website of Crysis VR, which is just crysis.vrmods.eu. So if you're interested in playing Crysis in VR and possibly melting your computer some more, because 2007 didn't punish your computer enough.
I actually lost a computer to Crysis.
Far Cry 2 killed mine.
Oh. Didn't have a problem with Far Cry 2.
Oh yeah.
That was a different computer, actually.
Getting water. Like, I'm a sucker for good water, like in games. Like I bumped the water graphics way up, and then I was driving my boat down the river, and all of a sudden the game crashed, and the fan melted to the video card.
Oh
yeah, not good.
Oh, good.
So, also Meta is back in the news.
All right,
planning to release Oakley smart glasses sometime this year.
I'm intrigued. Please continue.
I remember Oakley, so it's gonna be.
I remember when Oakley was like, as a kid, you remember Oakley?
Like,
everyone wanted a pair of Oakleys. They were like
in the
best.
6th grade, we went to New York City for a class field trip in '99. That's how old we are.
Yeah, we're old.
And there are people selling fake Oakleys on every street corner.
Yeah, Oakleys.
Yeah. So many people thought they were real. Do you remember, like, so many people
I
went
remember
home with Oakleys that night? Oakleys.
Oh, Oakley. Yeah, we never bought those.
No.
Mainly because my mom was the chaperone, and she's like, no. She wouldn't let me buy any of that stuff.
So Bloomberg reporter Mark Gurman delivered an exclusive report on Meta's wearables hardware roadmap. So they plan on launching Ray-Ban smart glasses, codenamed Supernova, and they're coming out in more countries. Technology will also be extended to other brands from Ray-Ban owner, such as Oakley. They also plan on releasing a wristband, which is codenamed Ceres, that will have touch inputs and things like that. Interesting. It'll mix with the prototype AR glasses that they're working on. So,
okay, maybe I was wrong. It looks like AR is they're still in the works.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a guy we know in Texas who has smart glasses, and he wears them all the time and things like that.
That's true. I totally forgot he did that.
Yeah, because we interviewed him twice. And the second time we talked to him, he has these glasses on. We're like, what the heck are you wearing?
Oh, yeah, like, I didn't know you wore glasses. Oh, I don't!
So you may have heard, or may have happened to you, that at the end of last year, Merry Christmas, your Quest 2 is bricked because of an update. Apparently, according to mixnews.com, it is due to a 4-year-old bug.
Wow, that's old in bug years. That's also a really, really bad joke. It's a horrible joke.
Yep.
Sorry.
So there's a 4-year-old bug that didn't cause a problem until last month. Meta identified a rare bug in the Android file system that could cause file corruption during read-write operations. The problem was exacerbated by a security patch that prevented the operating system from rolling back. Oh, that's awesome. The result was unresponsive headsets. Yeah, last year they had to they tried updating or putting out a firmware update that helped some of them, but then they also added a fast track option to their customer support for people who had bricked headsets, because the firmware didn't fix it.
I'm just happy to say that did not happen to me, thank God.
Yeah, right? So, man, what a mess that must have been.
Ooh, oh yeah.
But yeah, VR, I mean, it still needs to prove itself. There's so few real games. They're all tech demos, that are hidden as games. Sony on the PSVR 2, they had the Horizon game. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah,
all those games. So they had one that it was the flagship game for the VR, and it was basically just climbing a mountain the whole time. They completely just pulled the rug out from under everyone.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I really, really hope that Sony continues to pay attention to, as well as Microsoft. Now, Microsoft has all the capabilities at their disposal to take something like their Xbox Series X and fully integrate something like a VR headset into it. Currently, you can play your Xbox games via Game Pass on your Oculus or Meta or whatever brand you have now, because they changed it.
Yeah.
But you can play it currently on your Quest devices. And of course, it has Bluetooth, so you can connect your newer gamepad to your headset completely by Bluetooth, which is really cool. They also just added a newer update where if you want, you can lay down and play these games and you can be completely comfortable. Have I tried it yet? No. Why? Because I have my computer and my Xbox right there in my bedroom. Because I'm fat and lazy.
Man, Xbox though, they've just been kind of letting me down. I don't think Xbox is going to be a thing much longer. It's going to be just a software thing. That's
probably
kind of like Steam.
Probably, and I can't blame them too much on that, because when it comes to the console wars, they have nothing left to prove. They brought out the Xbox X, they brought out the Xbox S. They still have the Xbox One, which they're slowly phasing out. But they have...
Yeah, I think the One is done now. I think it's just the Series X and S.
Is it? Well, I know some things are still being brought out for it, just not as much. But these these systems are basically becoming your computer. Now, they don't have all the capabilities, such as web browsers and all of that. Well, they have the web browsers, but they don't have the normal capabilities as a computer.
Yeah, well, I think it's also just that, Switch and PlayStation have kind of dominated.
Well, that's true,
There's
because,
that,
PlayStation because of the name brand, Switch because they're actually doing innovative things,
Yeah.
and they know how to keep their costs down so they can keep that family-friendly environment.
Well, in PlayStation, they have good first-party titles. They have, Spider-Man, God of War.
They do.
The Horizon games. Wolverine's coming.
That one makes me so
Ratchet
jealous.
and Clank.
Because I want that. I want that, and I don't have a PlayStation.
So, Microsoft they have good titles, they just don't make good games with those titles. Like Halo and Gears of War. Did you hear, though, Ninja Gaiden 4 was announced yesterday?
I did not hear this. This is super exciting.
Yes. It better be good. It better be good.
I mean, I remember the original.
3 was bad.
I remember the original Ninja Gaiden games for the NES.
Oh, yeah.
This is how old we are.
Those games were crap. I hated those games.
No, they were good, but they were tough. They were tough.
Well, that's the thing. Ninja Gaiden is supposed to be, tough. I still
hard.
think, I still think Ninja Gaiden is a better series than the Dark Souls games. Yes, fight me on that. I think they're more about skill than the Dark Souls games.
Absolutely. Dark Souls is all about get your butt handed to you until you can beat it.
Yeah, it's trial and error, learn the pattern and
and
all that.
Ninja Gaiden is all about.
I know it's not.
You have to have skill for Ninja Gaiden. You have to learn these skills.
Yeah,
because it is brutal.
Yeah, it's if you haven't played a Ninja Gaiden game, all 3 are on Game Pass. 4 is coming to Game Pass day 1. I strongly suggest playing Ninja Gaiden. Black. Not Ninja Gaiden Sigma. That game is terrible. Which is ironic because it's almost identical to Ninja Gaiden Black, except they ruined it. They took some levels, and you're no longer Ryu, you're Rachel.
What?
And yeah, and who's a much slower and like more annoying character, and it's man, they just made some bad choices with Sigma. So don't play it. Don't play Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Back to VR though.
Now that your rant is done.
Yes. Now that I get off my soapbox and
oh my gosh! When you're not on your soapbox, you're so much shorter.
You know what?
What?
I deserve that.
You did deserve that.
For everything I've done to you in the past. You know, in this video.
Everybody, you hear some of the things that he says to me on camera. You should hear the stuff he says to me off camera. And we're best friends.
Yep. But yeah, VR, it's... What I was getting at is that it's still a new-ish technology, and there aren't any, like, full games. Like, the most of them are just tech demos showing what could be a game, or, you know, things like here's an idea and like 4 hours of gameplay that you can do again if you want, but nothing really that has really turned into a game. And now they're finally starting to do that with like Batman, Alien, games like that. Boneworks and Bone Lab are two other ones, but like Beat Saber, games like that where you're just like, there's so many Beat Saber games and things like that where it's just a tech demo. You're just swinging your arms. Like, that's something that would be at a convention. People would be like, "Hey, look at this thing I made!" You know, look at how neat this technology is. Look at what we can do with it. And then nothing would ever come from it. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing how we can flesh this out more.
Well, usually, fleshing something out would require a lot of different things, like a skeleton, muscle,
tendons,
blood vessels, or something to carry nutrients, oxygen.
Hey, a headache, a fever, and the flu walk into a bar.
Oh dear God!
And the bartender says, "What is this? Some kind of sick joke?"
That was bad. All right, I got one for you. A priest, a reverend, and a rabbit walk into a bar. The rabbit says, "Hey, I think I'm a typo."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our shtick.
I don't know. It might be
ending everything with a dumb joke.
Probably. I think that's all we have for you guys tonight. So go ahead and remember to subscribe to Nami Nation YouTube channel. You can find us on our own website as well for our other things on gamesoverboard.com.
That's right. If you like more of us, we have a podcast. You can listen to us there.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.